Okay. 6:30, call to order the Traffic Commission. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Present.
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. R. Smith? Here. Director Cowell?
Here.
Engineer Shetler?
Here.
Chief McDonald?
Here.
Mr. Russell?
Here.
Have a summary of proceedings. Has the commission had an opportunity to review the wishes of the commission?
I move we accept as submitted.
I second.
Take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Cowell?
Yes.
Mr. Shetler?
Yes.
Chief McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Russell?
Yes.
Old business.
I passed out the traffic study. I got back late last week, Friday, I believe, on Superior Street. You can see that the monitor was placed on the 18th of August and removed the 2nd of September. Total number of entries was just shy of 22,000. Highest recorded speed of 54 miles an hour, lowest recorded speed of 8 miles an hour, and the average of those almost 22,000 was 26.28 miles per hour in a 25 mile an hour zone.
That's pretty typical, right? I mean, usually
I-
there's one or two outliers,
Yeah,
but
I think it's great. It's, you know, I think those are good numbers. Also, under old business, we had a request that lane shift signs be put up on South Prospect and Columbia where the 2 lanes shift to the left. And then also, there's 3 lanes that shift at South State and Church. I have my sign guy that's gonna work on that this week. Probably won't be till the following week before they get put up, but we are working on those lane shift signs.
okay, nothing needs to be done from the traffic commission. That's all within your department, just to authorize that.
I have something else. But I add something to that, just brought up to me by Mr. Ratliff today. On Vine Street, when you turn left on Center, people tend to shift over there too and run you off the curb. So could we draw a line around?
I
keeping
think
that
there's
lane?
lines there, they might be,
Yeah, they
need
might be.
repainted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Solid white.
Yes. It,
You have to come to the
the
podium.
suggestion was a solid white line, and it would have to be broken. But anyway, that's for the engineer to engineer.
Look at that.
Yes.
So, the monitor that was placed over on Superior Street, I feel like I remember in a past meeting, it was said by somebody that that actually happens quite often. We get told that there's excessive speeding down certain roads, and then we set out a monitor, and then it comes back and it shows that really the average speed is just 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. So I don't think that it's a waste of time to set the monitor out there. I think it's great that we do that, because then it gives us real information. But it could be that people are just slowing down before they get to it.
You can't see it.
You can't even
They don't
see
know
it.
it's
Okay,
there.
so great. So
It's
these
not
are
the big-
accurate numbers.
It's not the big
then.
trailer that flashes your miles per hour. It's just a little box that goes up on
It's a hidden
up on a
box.
pole.
Okay, so these are even more accurate than I would have expected them to be.
Twyla was even looking for, councilman was even looking for it, councilperson was even Lang was looking for it, and she couldn't find it.
Yeah, I'm probably the one that was driving 8 miles an hour. But,
You just state your name, please, for-
Twyla Lane, 4th Ward, City Council. Can you determine how many were actually driving like the 55 before?
There might be a way to go back and glean that data from
Because I'm
the,
wondering if we can like pinpoint a time period. Is there any way of telling what time that's happening?
I don't know, I'll ask the electrician that has experience with that particular program to see if that's something that can be pulled out of there. Have you had any experience with that, Chief?
Of seeing the data like that, no, I haven't, but I think that we should be able to.
Because if we can, then maybe if we posted a patrol during that time, it might detour, maybe they could get some tickets or something.
For sure. that makes sense.
Oh, dear.
So, but I just wanted to say thank you for placing that monitor, and I'm glad we got this information, so.
And that being said, they're charging the batteries up and it's going to Lee Street next.
Right on.
Any wishes of any action? Okay. On the new business? I think I also had you pull accident report, and I believe we have a citizen here about the intersection Bermuda and Williamsport. It shows, did you say nine accidents in the last 5 years? But I don't think that has like the last 3 weeks. And I'll just say that, you know, I can see that intersection. It was 2 weeks ago. Car was absolutely totaled, and it's not because of the sun. They're headed east. Or I'm sorry, headed west, and, you know, traffic is headed east, and they're waiting on that to turn left onto Bermuda, and cars are just, I mean, rear-ending people. And then the following day, actually, I talked to Miss Rivard and looked at her neighbor's car, it's smashed up. The very next morning, I walk out, and there's a fire truck and a squad down there, another car rear-ended. Later in the day, another car was clipped, not as bad. And then on Friday, myself, I'm sitting there waiting on traffic to come, and a big Dodge Ram's coming barreling down, and I thought for sure I was the next one, and he went down in the ditch and out and around me. So I don't know what's going on there or why, and I know that's definitely not an appropriate place for, in my opinion, I'm only one, but that's not an appropriate place for a stoplight or stop sign. It's not an appropriate place to slow speed down to 35, but I don't know, is there any way to do any type of, you know, dangerous intersection sign or that, you know, flashes around it? I'm just trying to throw out some ideas, but it's been getting bad in the last few years, and you can see it from the accident reports, but I know just in the last month, from what I've seen from my own driveway, it's pretty bad.
Is there enough sight distance there for that speed?
That's wide open.
Yeah, it's wide open.
We've had ACDA crashes there in the past. In fact, Tom Robbins was in a police car, got in a crash. Somebody hit the back of him while he was stopped to turn into the prison on Marion Williamsport. But I don't know if they're not seeing a car, they're not going to see the sign that says this is it's a behavior issue more than a design issue,
Okay.
from my opinion.
Yes, Mr.
What
Swett.
about rumble strips in the road down through there? We see that kind of randomly sometimes. What are the, like, what would allow those?
Typically, they're warning the driver they're coming to a stop sign, but these drivers aren't coming to a stop sign. I think the first step would probably be asking partners at the Ohio State Highway Patrol, since they're posted out there, to focus in on this area a little more than usual and see if they can write some tickets. In my opinion, that's a first step.
Who should reach out to them?
The chief and I can.
Okay, thank you. Anything from the audience?
Not only, Ron Prater, 6th Ward. Not on that particular matter, I travel up and down that road, and so does people with school transportation every day. And that caused a great delay. But also, when we're coming up, buses go down Marion Williamsport Road to go to Harding in the afternoon. And when the train is stuck on the track there at on Main Street, the traffic is backed up blocks and blocks and blocks. It would help if there was some kind of a turn lane that people wanting to go down Williamsport Road to the right could go and do that. It causes lots of issues, but when those trains just sit there, it's way back. And I don't know if this would be ODOT or the city or the county or whatever, but if something could be done. And when you're coming down Williamsport Road going left, and you want to turn left on Main Street, and the traffic's backed up, it goes clear to almost Fairwood Avenue. And cars have got to turn around in the church parking lot and go around because they can't go anywhere. So if something could be done with that intersection, it'd really be nice to improve the traffic flow.
you're talking a right turn lane to turn off of Main and go east on Marion Williamsport Road?
Yes.
It already exists.
There's already one there.
We're, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
We're working with,
Hold on.
we're working with actually the county garage
Okay.
and ODOT. We have some meetings that are set up. We've met once with Brad Irons already, and there's a tentative plan in place to do a turn lane from Williamsport onto and from Route 4 onto Williamsport. So they have a new design for that intersection. It's just,
Something's in the
we're
works
in the
then.
process of working through that. Yeah.
Okay.
To help with the truck traffic that backs up over the tracks and on Route 4. So we're working on it.
That would be awesome, thank
You're
you.
not gonna bring up overpass?
Yeah, I would think, people in transportation will love that, to know that. Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes, ma'am. If you'll come to the podium, state your name and your address for the clerk here.
Linda Rivard. I live on 1256 Granada Drive in Marion. And in the 5 years I have lived there, I have seen 5 horrific accidents on that intersection. And one of the problems is not only is it vehicles, it's tractor-trailer trucks that come through there that are, and there's a lot of tractor-trailer trucks that travel that, and there's such a distance between 4 and 23. By the time they get to Bermuda, they're doing 60 miles an hour. And there's got to be something that we can do to slow them down. You know, a stop sign, a yield sign, something, because the people who are turning left onto Bermuda are literally taking their hands in their life when you're stopped there and some guy is coming behind you doing 60 miles an hour. And like Sean and I have had several times, people slam on their brakes and they have to go into the ditch to get around you because you're trying to make a left-handed turn. I just hope the committee can do something to make 135 residents that live in that upper part of Fair Park a little bit safer trying to get to their homes at night. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wonder if a turn lane would be feasible right there.
There you go.
We'd have to ride road.
Well, I think first things first, we bring it up here, right? And allow the gentleman at that end of the table to kind of look into this, and maybe we can see if there's any options or anything we can do. I think it's the right thing, Ms. Rivard, to bring it forward, and if there's a concern, and then as soon as we had that conversation last week, then I saw it firsthand 3 different times in 2 days. So I just want to make sure we bring it up and we try to do something to protect our citizens, make that a little safer traveling. Any other comments? Mr. Rollins? Okay. Seeing none, hearing none, we're adjourned, 6:43.
So if the main one goes west, I mean, maybe a dangerous intersection, or anything you can do.
That would be easy to do.
Yeah, that's probably with enforcement.
I mean, I don't know what else you got to bring it up, though.
I don't think we have, we probably do have those.
Is the speed limit 50 out there?
What's that? I don't know. What is the speed limit? I think it's probably 55.
The first question is, do we have both sides of the road at this particular area?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know,
That's for-
but we'll do OSP.
On there.
Actually, my church came and grander.
Okay, it's 45. Yes, but somebody, I know. We'll be okay. They're on the one closest in the end, so I was wrong. Yeah, yeah. That section between the sheriff's station. Yeah. I don't even remember if we have those signs. I think we do.
Because it's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we have the prison, we should have those.
What's going on? Good. 3 sets of minutes.
Are we ready?
6:45, we'll call finance to order, please. Will Clerk take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Here.
Mr. Rollins?
Present.
Mr. Ratliff?
Present.
Okay, proceedings, we have finance minutes from 8:4 of '25, 8:18 of '25, and 9:2 of 2025. I just have some corrections. On the 8/4/2025, page 5, in the middle, second paragraph, line 10, Mr. Daniels, if you could spell his name correctly. That was the only one I had on that one. 818, page 5, also on that one. Last paragraph, line 14. De-appropriate funds, form the pool, if you could make that from the pool. And on page 6, right after Finance 54, I think there should be the title, Matters Not on the Agenda. Or, wait a minute. You have it up here.
Yes, 54 was not on the agenda, it was added.
Gotcha, okay. Never mind on that one then. And then on 9-2, page 5, last paragraph, appropriate lien items should be appropriate line items. And on page 6, 7 from the bottom, it says get answer, needed to get answered. It says did get answered, but it should be did not get answered. And those are the only changes I'm going to ask to be made because they changed the context of what's being said. And if there's no other corrections or additions, I would make a motion to approve with amendments.
Second.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Moving on to old business audits 2021, 22, and 23, 24, and 25. Ms. McGinnis, can you give us an update on where we're at?
Yes, 2021, they had their final review on Friday, I believe. I have not received any information as far as like a copy of the report. I did submit a corrective action plan last week for some of the findings that were presented. We have not gotten anything scheduled as far as like the exit or the review yet. So we're just waiting for that. And then there was an email, that email that Cynthia had sent out on August 25th. We actually compiled the data today and got it over to her this afternoon. She has a couple more questions that we have to do some more digging on, but other than that, all the documentation she requested has been forwarded.
So does that include the OPERS? Was that part of that? There was 13 items that she was asking.
OPERS and OPNF I have to get letters for. Those were the only exception. Everything else was submitted.
And how soon do you think you'll have that done?
I have to go through and see if I can compile a list. If it's an actual letter that she wants, I have to reach out to Okers and OPNF. I don't know how long that'll take. Reaching out to them won't take long, but I don't know if they can send me a copy electronically or if they have to mail it. So that just depends on that process.
Any other questions?
Just one, and I guess I could go back and look, but I'll just ask. When the gentleman was here that talked to us about timeline for the audits, where are we at with the proposed timeline from what he had said we were going to be?
So let me pull up the original email that had that timeline on it. Bear with me just a
Because
second.
I feel like we're already behind it.
We did have to make some adjustments because of how long the 21 audit was taking. That being said, so the original proposed timeline had December of 2022, so all of the 2022 audit being completed by December 31st, 2025. I believe I got an email from him either late last week or today. Let me dig through, give me just a second. That was this morning. He said that we've already got a good start on the 2022 compilation. They were waiting on responses, which we got back to them today. They said that once we get a copy of the 2021 audit report, which hasn't been released publicly yet, they'll be able to give a more precise estimate on when financials will be completed. He did say he thinks it's still reasonable to have the 2022 audit completed by the end of the year, though.
Okay. And with the extra work, do you know, are the fees still the same?
I believe when we discussed fees, there was actually a higher cost associated with the gap conversion for financial statements.
Correct, yeah, he modified some of the fees down.
Yes. I have not seen anything that adjusts even those fees.
Okay.
I believe there was an email that he sent when he adjusted the dates and stuff. Originally, I believe we were going to do 24, 25, and 26 as gap.
Yes.
And he changed now to where we're going to do 25 as cash. And so the price was reduced on that, if I'm remembering correctly.
I don't think he actually sent a cost update with it, though.
But they did change the 2025 from gap to cash.
Yes, 2025 did go from gap to cash. He sent that when he sent the updated 2022 audit report back in August. But he didn't submit like a proposed fee schedule or anything like that with that email. So we saw the change from gap to cash, but we haven't seen anything as far as fees are concerned.
Can you follow up on that?
I can ask, yes.
Is there any other questions?
Yes, Jason Shower, Third Ward City Council. Question on going from gap to cash. Is that just so it can be quick and easy and dirty and get it done?
Because we didn't get the reports to them on time, because originally they were going to have everything done by June of 26, the end of June 26, and because we didn't get everything to them that they needed, now they've pushed it out to 2027.
It's not because we didn't get them everything they needed, it's because 21's not finished.
But they were waiting on reports for 2021.
Correct.
The auditor was. That's why 2021 wasn't done, because they didn't get the information that they needed to complete what they needed to go on with 2022. It's a domino effect.
Now, I thought the decision was made that we were going from gap to cash before the process even started. Because when he gave the timeline, he had adjusted the price of what he projected those to be. And I remember I kind of even commended him because we had agreed on a higher price.
Right.
So I I mean, I think that was
That's
determined from
my-
the start.
That's my recollection.
Cash was determined for 22, 23, and 24
24.
from the start. When he submitted that updated proposal for the timeline in August, he did change 2025 from gap to cash, given the time constraints.
So, and that will get us caught up through 25 and year 27?
Mhm.
So we're still in this cycle,
Yes.
right? Am I understanding this right? So what hiccups or roadblocks are going to cause the next two?
Not getting reports on time that they request.
So December of 2025, the financial audit for 2025, his proposed original due date, or the original due date would have been June 30th of 2026.
Mhm.
His now proposed due date is September of 26. So we'll make the clearinghouse deadline, but not the, I believe it's the GFOA deadline of June 30th. December of 2026, which is due in 2027, that he has back on schedule for the June 30th deadline,
Oh, so we could potentially get back on schedule
by
by
2027.
27. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Moving on to item number 2, penalties and appeals.
I was not able to get an updated spreadsheet to the clerk. I will be working on that this week. I have not received any additional correspondence from the IRS lately. The last thing I received was that check, and I attempted to call a couple times to see if I could get through to figure out why that check was received, but both times I tried to call, I got a notice that they were experiencing longer than normal wait times and to try again the next day.
Did we get the notice that was supposed to be with the check?
No.
So the only thing we know that it's for 941s and it's for 1221 period.
Correct.
And you weren't aware of any penalties for that quarter.
No, I believe we had penalties for that quarter, but I wasn't aware of anything that was being refunded for that quarter. Because based on the transcripts that we had, we didn't have, there was no balance that, I believe it was $2,600, that $2,600 number was nowhere in that transcript. So it's not like they could have just reduced it by a fee amount plus interest. There wasn't anything even close to that number in 2021 fourth quarter. That's
Well-
why I wanted to figure out where it came from and why we were receiving the refund.
But as Mr. Ratliff pointed out at our last meeting, is that you can't look for that amount because the check's going to be whatever the refund was plus interest.
Right, and even still, I mean, you're looking for a relatively close number. There's no relatively close number to that.
Well, I found one that was transferred out for $1,810.68 for the first quarter of 2021, and it was transferred to the third quarter of 2021, and I'm wondering if that's part of it.
But if that's the case, it wouldn't have been labeled 2020, or fourth quarter of 21, it would have been labeled third quarter of 2021.
Well, there was other credits that were transferred in, and I'm thinking it's probably the result of an overpayment for that quarter, or for that year, that got rolled over from quarter to quarter to quarter. Just like they brought in the 2018 from the 1095s, they brought in that $13,444.
Right. I'll definitely ask them that question when I finally get a hold of them. Which I plan on attempting to call them tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get through. But yeah, I plan on requesting an additional transcript for that quarter because the one I have doesn't show anything for it, so.
Well, now, that's another one of my questions, because we got transcripts through 2018 through April 30th of 2024, and then we got from April to, I believe, August. Can we request transcripts again from August to current?
Yes. I don't believe we requested a second set of transcripts, but I can request from the last date we have until current.
Well, we did, because it's on my agenda. And I did look at them. And the transcripts were the two sets that we got. We got two sets of transcripts.
Yes, they cover the same period though.
Okay? But I think the second set went a little bit further.
Maybe by a quarter or two, but
Right.
not much further. So I was going to take, which I believe it was quarter 2, quarter 3 of 2024.
Yes.
I'll take from that date to current.
Okay. And then when you get those, can I have a copy of them, please?
Yes.
And then did you have the opportunity to go back and find out if you did file an appeal for that fourth quarter, 1344?
I believe I did, based on the spreadsheet that I have, if you take a look at, even the one that's on there right now, fourth quarter of 2021 does have a notice that they denied the request to remove the penalty. The request for abatement was signed and mailed September 17th of 24. So there was a request for abatement.
But they haven't denied or accepted the abatement yet?
Well, and that's what I find interesting, because I have the request for the abatement signed and mailed last year, and then I got the denial August 12th of 25, and then I got a refund check for $2,600. So something in there is not adding up right. That's why I need to call and figure out what the problem is.
Any other questions?
I'll just say this one more time. Until we get a handle of, from start to finish, where everything has been credited, where everything has been forgiven, and where everything has been paid, we're never going to know what it's for. Because it's a whole ripple effect. Because when we send in something, but we send it in late, or we don't send it in on time, and then if we send payment, and then there's interest, and there's fees, and there are penalties on top of all that. And then when that gets abated, after that we've already paid it, and then those interest, fees, and penalties will get forgiven, and then you get not only a forgiveness, but they also issue you interest. But then when you owe more money, and then some phantom payment that we don't even know got to somewhere for an amount that we don't even know what it is, got credited for another screw up that we have, we don't even know that happened. And if something gets abated there, then that will ripple to the next one and ripple to the next one. So the numbers are never going to add up, because you have to know at the very start how much interest that we were paid back, how much of the interest that we owed was forgiven, the interest and penalties that were forgiven, and we will never have a clue where we are or what anything is for until we have an understanding of where all that is. And I don't know how to tell you to do it at this point, because it would be a monumental task, because it predates you in office. And I don't know if there's an option to meet with somebody. I think the closest IRS office, it at least used to be Mansfield. For you to go there and even meet with somebody and, get a handle on where that everything is. And, the bad thing is that they're hitting another busy season, because extensions are due by October the 15th, and then they're going to be gearing up for next year. And so, we've kind of missed our window the last 2 or 3 months of when they have their biggest lull. But, until we understand from the start a step-by-step of where everything is, we're never going to know what anything, what any refund amounts are for.
All said. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to item number 3. Finance 51, ESID pass-through funds. Parker, if you can read.
Ordinance approving additional appropriations for current expenses to the ESID pass-through funds for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Yeah, this is coming from the auditor's office. It was held up in committee until we could get a better explanation. I believe because we had the brickyard that wasn't mentioned, so I think it kind of explains everything now more. Anybody has any questions?
I know the previous draft had the amount of money that was collected in the original whereas, and this one does not, so I'll just ask, is this 59,000 and some odd change, is that what we have collected?
The amount we collected covers that amount, yes.
Okay. The original amount was like 118, I want to say. And then there was a first half of the year payment made. So I just want to make sure from the amount collected to the first half of the year to once these are paid, that should all balance out to zero, correct?
The amount collected actually exceeded the payments that needed to be made. So it not only covers first and second half, but there's a little left over.
Okay.
Wishes of committee?
I'll make a motion to send to council with no recommendation.
I will second that, but I do have another how did we collect more than what was, how did we collect more property tax than what was owed on the properties?
Give me 2 seconds, I'm pulling it up. So the amount collected was 101,897.65.
Okay.
And the amount for the expenses was 91,433.44.
So then where does the $10,464.21 go?
I know part of it goes to, so there's the property tax portion that gets paid to EASID. And then there's a portion that the auditor's office, the county auditor's office takes as fees for collecting.
Now that's that's already accounted for, which is the
Yes,
800.
that's the 856.
Uh-huh.
As far as the remainder, I don't have an answer for that off the top of my head, but I could do research and get back to you.
And then with the New World balances being negative, have these already been paid?
Yes, they were paid, give me 1 second. They were paid last month.
So what do you do if we don't appropriate the money after you've already paid the bill?
I don't have an answer for you.
I mean, are you allowed to pay the bill before the money's appropriated?
I don't have an answer for you.
Okay, I withdraw my second.
I withdraw my motion as well.
Mr. Schaller?
Jason Schaller, Third Ward City Council. So this is an ordinance amending several other ordinances in the whereas, is that correct?
We held it in committee because the numbers weren't adding up.
Okay, so I'm trying to go to what Mr. Ratliff was saying, okay, how can we pay something that hasn't been appropriated? It looks like in these ordinances, that appropriation was made. So you guys are trying to fix the numbers so they add up? Or what's being amended?
Section 1 says the auditor is hereby authorized to make the following appropriation. So unless this is passed, the auditor is not authorized to make the following appropriation.
That's the enacting clause, but the whereas is above that, and even in the heading, it says ordinance amending and approving additional. So 58,000 is an additional amount that we collected. I think we got a flawed ordinance completely. If you're, because it sounds like the way I have always understood amending an existing ordinance, you're fixing something or changing something in those original ordinances. So the money has been approved. Suspend, so maybe she's in within, again, no, am I going off the...
This was not approved in this year's budget. I don't think that we budgeted for the collection or for the payment of these. And that was, I believe that was said the first time around when we got this. And then the numbers didn't add up, and I think we got an amended ordinance and the numbers didn't add up.
You're referring to ordinances 2018-42, because this is back...
No, I'm talking about this actual, this is, I believe, the third draft of this one, if I'm not mistaken.
We kept it in committee because we didn't get the draft we were supposed to have gotten at the last meeting.
So this is a second draft?
Mhm.
Okay.
So what's the purpose of the first whereas?
I read that as letting us know that previous councils have approved the levying of special assessments for these specific businesses, and then if you read further, a couple of them are no longer active. That's the way I read the whereases in the beginning.
Yeah, I think the first one says that we approved the levying of special assessments on certain properties. And then the next one, the budgeted amount included in appropriations to cover obligations.
So right there, she was given the authority through the appropriations in fiscal year 25 in that whereas.
However, it was my understanding it was not budgeted, the entire amount was not budgeted for.
So is that what is being amended?
I didn't write it, so
I didn't either, and so what are you really asking?
Well, the last whereas says additional appropriations are necessary. So if additional appropriations are necessary, we didn't approve them in the original budget.
I think you got bigger problems than you would think. I don't think this ordinance, or this, whatever this is reflective of your goal. I don't think anyone knows what the goal is.
No, this ordinance is a symptom of our problems.
Right, so what is the goal with something that's passed?
Well, the goal is we have 2 accounts that are negative that we're trying to make right again, I think. And this is what we got.
I would actually.
And we got 10,400 and some change that's still left over that we don't even know where it's going.
Correct.
And that 10,000 was discovered through math in your head, just on the floor, correct?
Through my north side math in my head, yes.
On the north side, well, that's a little better than west side math. But none of that's in this ordinance.
Exactly.
You can't glean anything from it.
Again, I didn't write it, so.
If I would tell this committee, this is sitting this back, why would you sit it in committee for another week, another cycle of committees with no changes? You guys do that, you know. I'll just bring that.
Well, I mean, I think that this committee is making it clear that this ordinance as it stands is not going to pass. I think we have to have something better with better explanations and numbers that make sense, or this is never going to pass. And I guess in some sense it doesn't matter because we've already paid the bill that we weren't supposed to pay yet.
Which I pointed out at the last committee
But,
meeting.
I mean, unless we get something better that makes sense, I'm only one of 3, but I don't think this committee's going to pass it on for any council consideration.
So at this point, we'll hold this in committee, send it back to the auditor's office for more explanation, better explanation. Moving on to item number 4, Finance 54, 2025, designation of deposits. Clerk, if you can read, please.
Ordinance designating depositories of public monies of the city of Marion and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this is coming from the treasurer's office, and this is to fix the banks that we can use for active depository monies and interim money. We asked that he provide the agreement for the interim deposits and the active accounts. We have received applications for Fahey Banking, Union Bank, Premier Bank, Park National Bank, First Citizens, and Fifth Third. Are there any additional questions that anybody has?
Is that all of them?
That is
All
all
6
of
of
them,
them.
yes.
And just to state for the record, these have all been reviewed and are good and on file in the treasurer's office, correct?
Can you voice an answer, please?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to send on to council.
Any recommendation?
Nah.
Second.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 5 under new business. Finance 57, strongest town donation amended. Clerk, if you could read.
Ordinance appropriating donated funds to the city of Marion to support the Strongest Town celebration for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Okay, this also is coming from the budget director to appropriate additional funds that we have received as donations for Strongest Towns in the amount of $1,550. Is there any questions?
Do we know yet where we ended up bottom line with this? With what the city and county put in and the donations that we got versus the cost?
Sorry, I thought
Either one.
So we collected 32,800 in donations, in monetary donations. And then expenses so far are at 29,514.89. We have a couple of invoices from statements that have not been paid yet because of them being a month behind. So like they were charged or whatever, however you want to say that, and then we'll get the statement in the mail. So once we receive those, then we'll have the finalized number.
Do we expect that to be more than,
What
what,
we've collected in donations.
2,300 or whatever?
No.
Okay. And then if there's money left over in that line item, what do we do with it?
So if there's money left over, that'll be a discussion, but maybe considering reimbursement for fuel as we used vehicles from the city. So that's like wear and tear that we basically donated from the city that we would just use some of those donations to at least reimburse the fuel.
Okay. All right, motion to send out to council with recommendation to approve.
I have one item.
Oh, sorry.
Just as I did last time, I'd like to name the benefactors. That was Carol's Jewelry, Jay Walker, State Route 30 Limited, and Wilson Bohannon Locks.
Yeah, those were the last that came in, but
Thank you. That's all. I'll second.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Item number 6, Finance 58, Fire Levy Appropriations.
Ordinance making an appropriation in the fire levy fund from levied funds collected for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Okay, this is also coming from the budget director. This is for the architect to start the new firehouse. Anybody have any questions or? McCall Sharp Architecture LLC. Pricing proposal, total amount of $673,000. Not to exceed basic service fees of $665 and not to exceed an allowance for reimbursable expenses of $8,000. So the total of that is the $673.
And so this is just to cover architect cost, correct?
Contract. So, I'm shocked, sorry, we're all kind of sharing information, I'm not sure you could hear us. But in addition, they do construction inspections, and they oversee the progress of construction. And is it the same firm that signs off at the end, as regarding completion of the project? Yeah, they sign off at the end, indicating the project's complete.
And it's my understanding too that they will oversee throughout the whole project.
Yeah, they do inspections, yeah.
And did, maybe I should already know this, but did we take bids for this?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
He wanted to know if we took bids for this.
Yes. Oh, yes. It had, you have to.
Okay. Motion to send out to council?
Second.
Any recommendation?
To approve.
Second.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 7, Finance 59 bond refund.
Ordinance requesting additional appropriations to the SCMR fund in the below listed line item for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
And this is coming from Budget Director. This is money that we receive in for bonds that we hold until the completion of the work being done, and then once it's expected and it's determined that everything is done satisfactory, we refund the bond amount back to the contractor. Any questions?
Is this one because we have somebody waiting on payment, or is this one just putting money in there so when we do a reimbursement, it's there?
Exactly, the second one. This was something that I proposed last time as a standing item, just so we all get used to seeing it. That way we're keeping it in and out and clean.
That's the answer that I was hoping for. Recommendation to approve, motion to send on to council.
Second. Oh, you beat me to it.
Second that. Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Moving on to item number 8, Finance 60, Senior Center Appropriations. Clerk, if you read, please.
Ordinance making additional appropriations from the general fund to the senior center for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Okay, it's my understanding this is coming from the Budget Director also, and it's a shortfall in their fund balance. And we are taking those funds from the general fund to cover the expenses. Is there any?
Was there any specific reason? I mean, I know utilities went up this year. Was there any specific reason that we didn't have money budgeted that they need? I know 4,000 was for a vehicle maintenance. Does something happen to one of their vans?
That was for fuel charges. They run that through it's equipment and / vehicle maintenance line. But the biggest, I know that's the 4,000, so the increase in fuel, and then there was a huge increase in utilities, and then parts and supplies. So we try to get as close to minimal as possible.
So basically, this is all due to price increasing.
Correct.
And I've said this before, and I won't be on council that much longer, so I'll say it again tonight, but the senior center, it's hard not to support the senior center, but, I don't think funding for that is fair with the county. I've said it many, many times. I think if you look at the population that it serves, it's actually, the last time that I asked and looked, less than 50% was city, and, close to 60% is county, and the money that we put in, I think funds pretty much the entire thing, and, the people who are paying the freight are getting 40% of the use, and, the county 100% should be kicking in money for this, and they don't, and it's been wrong for a long time.
Recommendation of committee.
I'll make a recommendation to send on to council with no recommendation.
I'll second that. Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Okay, moving on, matters not on the agenda. I have one question right now for the auditor. Ms. McGinnis, where are we at with ADP?
We have a status call tomorrow. I did send out some supervisor resources a few weeks ago to the department heads as well as the clerks that they've got designated to process payroll. I do know several department heads have been processing through that. We have a Q&A session with our time and attendance rep set up for September 24th. So we're going to get department heads and their representatives together to kind of go through that with the time and attendance rep. Again, we have a status call tomorrow at 10:30, so we'll kind of have more of an answer tomorrow. But right now, we're still in the dual maintenance process, so we're doing everything in both New World and ADP. And so far, things are working out okay. But we have to see what tomorrow looks like.
So at this point, they have all the information they needed for the CDLs and EMTs, additional rates?
Yes.
That's all been done?
Yep.
And have we given ADP the year-to-date balances for everybody?
Year-to-date balances for what specifically?
I believe it was for like sick time, vacation time.
Oh, that we cannot give to them until the last payroll is processed, because that's how we're going to get the most accurate numbers.
Okay, so and when do we think that last payroll is going to be? Well, I know we were talking October because of taxes, they couldn't do it in September, so are we looking at the middle of October?
The first pay in October for bi-weekly is October 10th. So we're looking after September 26th, when that payroll is processed, we'll be able to start putting together the balances for the accruals, and then we'll be able to get them to them, over the next week or so, with all the information ideally being presented to them before the October 10th payroll.
October 10th, you think?
Yes.
After the October 10th payroll?
No, October 10th is the first payroll in October. That's the goal right now.
Okay. And how are you with staffing now?
We are now fully staffed. We're going through training to make sure that everybody is up to speed on what they need.
And are you going to cross-train your people to be able to cover for?
Yes.
And when will the cross-training take place?
First and foremost priority is to make sure they have their current job duties covered. And once we go through that, we're going to work with our accounts payable clerk to verify that she has backup when she needs it. And then our internal auditor is going to back up payroll and AP if something were to happen. So first and foremost priority is to cover the job description.
Okay.
As soon as that's done, we'll cover cross-training.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
Can non-union positions back up union positions?
Supervisory capacity can for a short period of time. If it's anything over 30 days, it has to be a union member.
And the internal auditor is a supervisor of the payroll clerk?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Not on that, and this isn't finance, but I have joined the ranks of council people who their emails does not work. I did let the clerk know that, and he has passed it on to the IT. I hope other people that I know have had similar problems got theirs fixed. But as
The
of right
IT
now,
guys should be in here after the meeting.
as of right now, if I have not emailed you back, it's because I can't get it.
Anything else? Is it finance related?
What?
Is it finance related?
Oh, yeah. Lonnie Daniels, 608 Decatur Street. I want to know if and when the Charter Commission is chosen, if they're going to get paid, or if this is a volunteer position.
It's a volunteer position.
Okay, because I was like, News 24/7, it was like, someone's running, it's like,
No, it's a non-paid, that doesn't have anything to do with city council.
I mean, it does really, but I
No.
mean, the Charter Commission, you guys voted on it, so.
No, we didn't. We
Well,
voted to
let's
put it,
vote.
we voted to put it on the ballot for the citizens to vote if they do or don't want a charter.
And then they'll choose the Charter Commission.
When they vote, yes.
Oh, okay. That means we get to vote for, I mean, we just vote for the charter then, right? We just don't.
The question will be, do you want a charter city? A charter for the city of Marion? However they pose that question on there, you'll answer yes or no. And then even if you answer yes, or even if you answer no, there are my understanding, 27 people that pulled petitions to be on the commission, so those 27 names will be listed on the ballot, and you will choose no more than 15 of those 27. No less than, no less than 5, no more than
Means I'm going to
15.
be in the voting booth a lot longer than I thought.
But we just voted to present it to the citizens. It's up to the citizens to decide if they do or do not want it. And then the commission will design it.
27 people for how many slots?
15.
15.
Only 15?
And then they work on it until the next election, and then once they have it done, citizens vote again if they want to enact it.
Once the commission has developed the charter, then the city will mail out what they've come up with to all registered citizens in Marion City. They can have the opportunity to read it before they vote on it. And then it'll be on the ballot in November of 2026, and it'll be, do you want this charter, yes or no?
We get to vote early on that?
Vote early.
Well, usually it's a month before election day. So, okay. That's a lot of work, but I hope it works out.
Any other matters not on the agenda? Not, we stand adjourned at 7:38.
Never mind.
Good. How are you? Okay. There you go.
My toe.
Don't run over your toe.
I didn't get an agenda for that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's nothing there.
How's it going, Jason?
Going fantastic. Think it'll be done by 8 o'clock?
I don't know.
We'll
Not if they give us all the
We can have
information that we
goals.
want.
All right. Ready? Okay. Sorry. first time. 7:40, it's the meeting of the Legislation Codes and Regulations Committee agenda, or committee, sorry. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Dickel?
Present.
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Schauber?
Here. Okay, summary proceedings for the last 2 meetings, I believe.
I move we accept as submitted.
Second. There are some changes that I have on here.
Okay.
Was it incorrect spelling?
Incorrect spelling and grammar, stuff like that. I can just hand him these changes I have highlighted.
That'll work.
Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as it's grammar changes and spelling.
Correct.
Those could be corrected. Now, if it's substance or someone said this and it's misquoted, that has to be referred back to the recording.
Right.
It's misspellings.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that, so,
We can just make that in our motion to fix grammar and spelling mistakes.
okay. Are you making that motion? Or do I-
Yes, sir.
And I will second that again.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no old business. Moving on to new business. Item 1, legislation 7, commercial building code. Please read the.
Ordinance requesting certification to endorse the State of Ohio Building Code as to commercial building code within the city of Marion.
Okay, who brought this forward?
Myself.
Sure.
Do you have any questions? So basically, this came to committee a few weeks ago. Mr. Neff was still here at the time. We did a RFQ. At that time, we had 2 consultants that submitted. The first one, I can't recall the name, but the second one was Safe Built. And the first firm was not what we were looking for as far as qualifications, so they were immediately out. So we brought Safe Built, and Mr. Neff suggested that we redo the RFQ to see if we could get more people to answer the request for qualifications. Ironically, Safe Built chose not to resubmit, and then we got 2 completely new ones. And once again, one was qualified, one was not. The engineers and I met with the qualified applicant, who has been very attentive. So we're looking to move this forward. Quite frankly, the big need for this is the excessive turnaround times and delays caused by just going directly through the state. So it was brought to our attention several months ago. We've been kind of working on this for quite a while, and now it's kind of come to fruition. This guy does promise a 10-day turnaround? Yeah. 10-day turnaround, and he can schedule meetings within 2 days. He's the same person. There's two guys. One's a reviewer. The other guy is the inspector. And
Mr. Bodine, I don't mean to interrupt and chair, but are you speaking on the first one that we have in front of us?
they're both related.
Okay, well, most of what you're speaking on has to do with what sounds like hiring somebody, right, or a company. And then the first ordinance that we have here in front of us is whether or not we're going to endorse something. So I just wanted to make sure you're speaking on the
I'm
right.
explaining what you're endorsing. So
Okay,
you're
okay.
endorsing a commercial building department that is going to be handled by a third party. And the nuts and bolts of the situation is this is going to be as close to net zero cost to the city as possible. And therefore, our developers in town are going to get a faster response on development projects.
Okay.
So is this to endorse or to enforce?
Endorse.
Endorse, okay, I want to make sure that was spelled right.
I don't think it is spelled right, is it?
Endorse, is it supposed to have an S on it?
I'm from the west side. I understand that's what the word's supposed to be, but it looks odd. It could be right.
My question is because the first paragraph says desires to enforce, and it has endorse on the top, so that was my confusion.
So if I may, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
so little bit of confusion was created. There's two steps. These are related. You can't have one without the other, and whoever caught indoors should be enforced is correct. They win the prize. So you can't do one without the other. And actually, they're a little bit of reverse because the next one is establishes the Marion City Commercial Building Code Enforcement Department. That creates the Commercial Building Department. And once that's created, then you would do the one that's before you now that should be requesting the state certify the department and those engaged to enforce the state of Ohio building codes as to commercial building codes.
Okay. And that first one also needs ordinance to establish, take the E off the end of it. That's what's spelled there. So regulation 2025-0818, which one of these is that?
They're marked at the bottom.
Okay.
7.
Legislation 7, okay. Are there any other comments, questions?
So I guess my comment would be, I don't know what questions I have because this is a big deal and I would like to let another cycle of committees go through to give me time to figure out what questions I may have. I don't know what they are right now. And this being such a big deal for the city to do something that we've never been in these waters before, developing a building code, what does that open the door up for later down the road? Does that open it up for residential building codes? I mean, we could go down rabbit holes for hours, and I don't want to do that in this committee. I would prefer if we can give at least another cycle. We can get those things.
I'm inclined to agree, but you have a hand up, Mr. Dickel.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks. Just for your future reference, we did speak to this gentleman and he did offer to come to council. I suggested that we go through this process to see if you guys move it on right now and then we come to the first reading. If you want to keep it and then you take it through committee again in 2 weeks, I can ask them to come to that. If you want to ask them questions directly, I'd be happy to do that.
I would prefer that.
And I want to clarify, strictly commercial.
I know,
Let's-
but there's
let's take
people.
residential out of this because this is not part of this and this is not part of our agenda whatsoever.
But people hear building code, and that's the first thing they go to.
Right, and I'm
And I want-
clarifying it's not that.
Okay, and we need to clarify that too as a council, that we don't support that. And if we just act on it tonight and that question doesn't get clearly answered, then the speculation is wild.
Would you like him to join us next year?
I would prefer it to be in committee instead of passing it and then having him come to council, because that's kind of backwards in my view of how things should be done.
I will do that.
Okay. So we're taking no action on this?
I would say leave this as old business and move to the next, or
I just had a question. Did Safe Build say why they didn't resubmit the RFQ the second time?
No, they did not.
Offended that they were the
Well-
only one and we didn't select them for that?
Quite frankly, I'm as shocked as you are. I informed them as soon as Mr. Neff told us to redo the RFQ, and I said, hey, just to give you a heads up, we're redoing this RFQ, and I didn't hear anything back.
Well, if the wishes of the committee are going to be to wait another cycle, another 2 weeks, should we submit another RFQ to see if we have anybody else, or?
we might lose the one we got.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like we have too many firms jumping at the opportunity to manage this for us, because that's basically what they'll be doing, right?
I will tell you for what it's worth, at face value, we did think Safe Built was a great choice, and I think there are some factors with this gentleman that makes him more local, and not a nationwide firm, that he would be more attentive to our needs.
I was just
That
curious.
sounds like a plus already.
Thanks.
Any other comments on this matter? All right, moving on. Matters not on the agenda. Is anything anybody would like to bring forward?
You want to read the second ordinance?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
I'm assuming we're holding them both, but
Okay. Item 2, legislation 8, commercial building inspections.
Ordinance to establish the City of Marion Commercial Building Code Enforcement Department.
And it's same with the first one, I would just let this sit for another cycle and work on them at the same time.
No action to be taken then?
I would say, correct.
I would say, I actually have a question on this one, if Mr. Bodine would like to answer any of them. Where would this department, be?
That is another bonus. With State Built, we were required to have office space. We were required to provide them office space. This company is not like that. As I did mention, so they're kind of like, they travel all around. They have a couple other clients, Union County being one of them, and Blendon Township, which is somewhere close to Westerville.
It's Westerville.
Okay.
They did promise, this guy is very responsive to requests. If you call him before noon, you can have a meeting scheduled the next day. So, take that for what it's worth. Kind of checks all the boxes, but a lot of things that a lot of people are missing out.
And we won't have to provide office space.
We will not have to provide office space, which is a huge bonus because the office space I was going to provide months ago when we were talking about this got taken up.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
So without an office here at City Hall, how do people just know how to get a hold of him, or how would we advertise that, or would it be a link through the website that would?
We will, all of the initiation of everything will happen in an engineer's office.
Also, it goes through our engineer's
So
office.
we do all the fees and everything else.
Let me explain a little bit more, yeah. It would be through our admin and engineering. They would come in, and there would be a set fee for a building permit based on our time to do that. And then probably an additional part of that fee would be based on the size of the building or renovation or alteration that they're doing. And then beyond that, they would, the developer would be billed for inspections as needed, depending on the scope of the project, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So
So
that's how
initial
that-
contact will be at City Hall with City Hall employees. Just the inspections and the permit enforcement part, I guess, if you will be a contact with this individual
Right,
or this
yeah.
organization.
And I imagine they would get the plans and say, okay, you're gonna need a plumbing inspection, electrical inspection, that kind of stuff, so they would know, but those fees are gonna be up front, whatever, but they would bill those directly through us, so that we would, all the money would flow through us, but.
So all bills and everything, invoices to the builder will go through the city,
Yes,
to the
correct,
city.
yep.
Okay.
That's how he explained it, so he can explain that in more detail if it comes from the committee.
Did you have something you wanted to say, sir?
I'm sorry?
Did you have something you wanted to say?
I can't hear you. I mean, that's why I came here.
Oh,
If I'm over here, I can't hear you at all. I do have a question, though, actually. On the annual 608 Decatur Street. All of this is like, this is commercial, right?
Yes.
Does that include construction of new buildings then?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Commercial.
is this like a building code for the city of Marion, in effect?
It's following the state code, using a third party for commercial buildings only and renovations. So things can get accomplished quicker on a better time frame.
Okay. That's all I got.
Thank you. Anything else?
I would say at the next Legislative Codes Committee, be here, because we'll have the gentleman here to speak more on that.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
At the next Legislative Codes meeting that we call, make sure you come to that one, because the gentleman will be here to speak more on this.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Any matters not on the agenda? Anybody would like to bring forward? Okay. 7:54, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about my little faux pause there, guys.
You did great, man.
nothing.